Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me in person again for the second time, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua, Gangsta Time Cole.
Well, it's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, everybody? Listening. What up, Chris?
Hello, bud.
What's good, Mr. Producer?
Oh, yeah. Joining us in person as well, it is the Edgelord Big News Brian.
I got the right one.
You did it! Yeah!
Let's go, baby!
Yeah! I wish we had an applause drop.
Oh, wait, do we?
I wish we did.
All right, well, we're going to have to settle
Do the
with,
air horns. Drop the air horns.
There it goes. There it goes.
Yeah.
I found it.
Very excited to be back in person for the second time in a row. I don't know the last time we did it.
It's been a minute, yo.
Yeah. A twofer in a row?
Yeah.
Very excited to have it. We don't have any jump this week, so we're going to do just like a kind of a little bit of a talk shit show. We got some American comics to talk about this week, so let's not waste any time. Let's get into the plugs really fast. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole_37. That's on Instagram. And at NYChillin. With a EN, not a ING. And that's on Twitter. Get at me, guys.
Yeah. Brian?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Ooh, yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter, especially because we do a really good chapter of the week poll, usually when there is jump. But there wasn't this week, so we don't have that.
No jump.
No jump. But next week, jump will be back.
Jump will be back.
Yeah.
My life will be complete.
Indeed.
But then when Oda goes on break, my life will be incomplete once more.
I agree with that sentiment. If you also email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, or you can comment under whatever video you're watching, whether it's the full version or the little highlight breakouts we make for you every week. And while you're at it, why don't you subscribe on our YouTube? That would be super sweet. Subscribe, share the podcast, do all the things. If you prefer audio podcasts, we are also on every podcast platform that you can think of, even ones I've never heard of. So check us out, mainly on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever, and leave us a 5-star review while you're at it. And I think that's it with plugs for now. Thank you guys so much. Let's get into the show proper. Do the thing, Brian. We're starting with Devil's Reign. This Devil's Reign number 2 of 6 by Chip Zdarsky. Zdarsky. This is the second in the conclusion event for, I guess, Zdarsky's entire Daredevil run. Last we left off, Wilson Fisk has decided to implement a law that outlaws all superheroes, not just the young ones like that was established earlier in the last year or so. There was like a anti-kid superhero law. But now Wilson is just like, you know what? Fuck that. No more superheroes in New York.
Period.
None.
Period. I'm a salty guy.
Yeah. So, you know, all the heroes have gone underground and are trying to freedom fight this whole thing, get it all together. We open this issue with Danny Rand, who is no longer Iron Fist. I remember that being a thing. He is no longer Iron Fist. Somebody else is. I don't know who. He's currently on the phone with Luke Cage, who is with Jessica Jones and Tony Stark. They're on their way to meet up with the underground superhero resistance force, as Tony has announced that he is running against Wilson Fisk in the upcoming mayoral election. So he calls up Danny Rand to be like, yo, let's come with us, man. I know you're not an Avenger anymore, but they're coming for you. This is a very non-discriminatory rule against fucking vigilantes.
Very non-discriminatory.
Yeah, they're coming for everyone, even if you're retired. They don't like it. And Danny's like, all right, I'll wait for you guys here. And that's when Crossbones just pulls up with a whole squad of people. And he's like, you're under arrest, Iron Fist. And he's like, ah, shit. Well, good luck. I guess I'll fight my way through it. So Danny Rand hangs up the phone and just starts fighting, but I guess he's like losing. He doesn't seem to have his Iron Fist powers at all anymore. I'm not very current on the exact situation with Danny Rand, but I guess all he has is regular kung fu fighting.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him either, but like he doesn't always have the glowy fists, right?
I would imagine in this situation he would just immediately be like, "Oh, I'm just in my civvies here. Better light up my fists."
Yeah, you know what? Like spoiler alert, guys. Sorry, but he loses. He loses to
Crossbones.
to Crossbones
He's just a guy at
and
this point.
fodder.
He is just a guy at this
Who,
point.
Danny Rand?
Yeah. He doesn't seem to have the iron
Yeah,
fist
so he
power.
probably does not have the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
And they are real thirsty for the kid, man.
Yeah, it's not great. So meanwhile, we cut over to Wilson Fisk's dark ass room where he likes to sit with no lights on.
So
and
assassins can come catch him.
this is how it just works. He just leaves himself open for assassinations just for the fun of it, I guess. And it turns out Elektra Daredevil pulls up to confront Wilson Fisk, and Wilson Fisk isn't scared because he's like, yeah, sure, you're a ninja and everything, but you're not killing currently because you're Daredevil and you're following Daredevil's rules, so I know you ain't gonna do nothing. So, you know, he
Suck my dick.
basically
Right. He's like, so get the fuck up out of here. And as a matter of fact, I got my goons on your ass now.
yeah.
But for you, because you thought shit was sweet.
Yeah, I know that you were like somehow betraying Daredevil with the hand thing, with the whole hand situation. So, you know, they're here in the city now. So go deal with them and your tie-in.
So is that a thing? Is that something that's been
Yes.
talked about already?
Yeah.
No, not the tie-in. The whole that she betrayed Matthew.
Well, the whole thing is with that. It was a while ago.
Is this implied?
No, it was a while ago when they were talking about. Elektra came back specifically to say, "Yo, I'm like trying to take over the hand and make it into something stronger, but it needs a leader, and I would like for you to join me as the leader of the fist, which is the souped-up version of the hand.
Right.
So please come join me." And Matt is like, "No, I'm not a ninja villain, man." And she's just like, "What if I'm very nice at crime fighting in New York? Will I turn your heart then?" And Daredevil has not given an official answer because he's been in prison. So, yeah, apparently, I guess he doesn't know that she's just going along with this plan anyway. So, she's going to go off to deal with the hand, I suppose, in her tie-in, which is also going to be written by Zdarsky. So I guess we'll be covering that as well.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, she escapes. We cut back to the underground superhero team of Steve Rogers, Iron Man, Daredevil, this lady, who's she? Oh yeah, that's Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Luke Cage's daughter. She's there. Miles is here
Yeah.
too. Miles
And
in his new costume.
Yeah, in his new costume that we do not like yet.
His new and improved, debatably costume.
I don't hate that it's a hoodie. I just don't like how it's implemented.
It's just weird.
It is weird,
It's
man.
the mask too. The mask isn't like amazing.
No, it isn't. What the fuck, man? All right, I'm going to let it go.
Yeah, we're not going to be a broken record about it.
Again,
Anyway.
yeah.
So they go to the old Avengers mansion because although most of it has been decommissioned and is basically like a tourist trap at this point, there is a secret underground lair that is, you know, not touched at all. Just so they can have a super cool secret base.
Sure.
I'll take it.
Yeah, what else?
They pull up and immediately are spotted by some kids who are hanging out at Avengers Mansion because I guess they didn't think in this public area people will just be here. But they try to... They take a picture of them because, you know, they're all criminals now. And Tony's like, "What if I paid you each $1,000 to delete this picture?"
And them kids is like, get the fuck out of here. You're Tony Stark. Like, boy, give me $1 million.
Yeah, I want $1 million.
And if you take too long, I'm going to make that $500 million.
Yeah.
'Cause you got it, buddy.
But luckily, super cool Luke Cage come through and is just like, "Hey, guys, I'm Luke Cage, and people trust me more."
And I'll bust your ass. He didn't say that, but that's essentially the vibe he was giving off. Like, yeah, so you guys could have took the 1,000. Now I'm going to come over here and shut this shit down.
Yeah, for real.
Grown man shit.
Yeah, very cool. All the kids are like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, sure. We'll take it down for you, Luke Cage, because you'll beat our ass. And also, you're cooler than Tony Stark.
He is.
We like you more."
You're a street level guy.
Yeah, Tony Stark's a billionaire. We don't respect those.
He watches celestial beings die.
Yeah.
Nothing about it.
He's
Never
traumatized.
forget.
Leave him alone. Meanwhile, in the background, you see, I guess one of the purple children is around.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
It's very ominous.
Ooh, the purple children, Christian's favorite.
Yo, my favorite characters in the entire Marvel universe, even though I've never read a single one of their
Actually, that's Red Widow. But whatever. And Hawkeye. The combination of them two.
Man, how could I betray Red Widow?
All right, you know what? Side note, I'm sorry, guys. We got to detract a little bit. So, a little bit of history. I used to make fun, still do a little bit, but I used to make fun of Chris because he seemed to always really like the characters without powers. We've gone through this already. We've regurgitated this on the podcast many episodes ago. But I just want to say how I used to group Hawkeye together with Black Widow, mostly because of the movie. You know what I'm saying? And they were the only two without powers, and I'm like, why? Why are they there? And which I was just being an asshole. Mm-hmm. But it's crazy how much of a pair they are now at this point in the MCU. Even though one's dead,
yes,
they're not their thing, but they're cool. They're a little team, kind of.
Yeah,
they have a dynamic.
Yeah,
and it's just so fucking hilarious because I said all that shit before, and they made their own unpowered duo. How cool is that?
Oh
guys?
My god,
a duo of two people without powers.
I'll tell you this,
Whoa.
Man. I feel like, okay, Josh.
Wow.
Josh does this thing. If you don't actively and constantly tell somebody their hatred of something, he'll assume that you love it.
I mean, Tony Stark doesn't have powers, right?
Huh?
He just has a lot of money.
He's super smart.
Yeah, super smart.
Yeah, no, but that's not a power.
You gotta say with an H.
It is.
No. If you say with an H, it is a power because it's different from just being super.
What
smart.
about super arrow shooting?
No, that's not what he has.
That's what Hawkeye has.
He just has really, really, really good arrow shooting, and it's good enough.
no, his arrow shooting is the best in the universe.
He is the greatest arrow shooting.
That's some superhuman levels of arrow shooting.
I don't believe that.
Well, whatever. We're gonna have to agree to disagree. We're also gonna be here all day. Me just defending. I don't even like Hawkeye that much.
Or the Purple Child. That's not it.
You don't like Hawkeye, but you still can't help but defend him.
That much.
Can I explain what happened with the Purple Child? What went in my head? So basically what happened was that I remember that you really, really liked that old Daredevil run. And at the time I started looking into it and reading it, the whole Purple Children thing was going on. And I just was like, why are these children so sinister? Why is this such a big deal? But of course I was ignorant and didn't understand the story and the layers and etc.
Hey, I did not read that particular story.
You didn't?
The story that I'm talking about always is Mark Waid's run, which was right before that one.
Oh.
Charles Soule wrote that part where the Purple Children made everybody forget.
Okay. And he was living in the sewers and stuff.
Was he living in the sewers?
No, but they made him feel bad about himself, so he went to live in the sewers. Anyway, so Ben Reilly, Spider-Man.
Yeah, Ben Reilly is Spider-Man now. He's not Peter Parker for some reason.
And he's not Jackal.
To be fair, we have just fell off of Amazing Spider-Man.
That's
so
the Scarlet Spider, right?
Yes.
Ooh,
no.
Yeah.
No, Scarlet Spider is Kane, I believe.
No, but he's a Scarlet Spider
I'm pretty sure Scarlet Spider is
because the event during the Spider-Verse event, the side event was Scarlet Spiders with an S.
Oh, okay.
And it was Ben.
The Scarlet Spider I'm familiar with is Kane.
Yeah.
So this guy, Ben Reilly, probably is a Scarlet Spider, and I'm bugging.
Yeah, he is.
But there's multiple people who've worn.
Kane is also the Scarlet Spider.
Let's just
Scarlet
say
Spider is just whoever's a clone.
Yeah, let's just say that Ben Reilly was the first Scarlet Spider.
Okay, I'll take it. He's currently Spider-Man for some reason. So he's currently at the Daily Bugle. I forgot this little detail. I was like, oh right, he's not Peter right now. So
what's the difference between them? Is he just angrier?
Ben is a clone.
Yeah, but what's the difference?
Ben's way more troubled.
Yeah, he's had a past.
So he's like,
and
Jason
also
Todd
if he gets
Spider-Man.
killed as Spider-Man, it's not as big of a deal as killing Peter. So it's nice.
So he's like the Jason Todd of Spider-Man.
Yes,
I guess. I mean, all the clones of Peter are kind of like that.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the Batman family is much more defined than
Definitely
the Spider.
The Spider folk.
There's a few that have a whole series dedicated to them, but it's come on, this is the Bat family.
Yeah, for real.
Ain't no comparison.
No.
Except for Miles, who's probably better than most of the Robins.
He was a start. Spider-Verse was a start. You know what I'm saying? To all of that. But, you know, come on, Jason Todd, Dick Grayson, Barbara.
Wasn't there a time that nobody
Tim
liked
Drake.
Jason Todd, though? And that's why they killed him off? They literally voted him out?
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, you
the
know.
majority of people in this country have voted for a lot of things that I don't really agree with.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
not that I've read Jason Todd's
Jim
original
Crow.
stories of him as Robin to really know or feel like that was unfair.
separate but equal, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that was
Questionable.
voted in
Sus.
by majority.
The death of Jason Todd, which is equal to both of those things, is equal scale.
True. That was a bad vote.
Anyway,
We need a
So,
recount.
Ben fucking Riley,
He pulls
Spider-Man.
up. There's the Thunderbolts have apparently started taking people hostage now to draw superheroes in. So Ben Riley's like, well, I can't not go in and help people. So he pulls up. It's Taskmaster and Whiplash. They're there, and they've been tasked
Who the
with.
fuck is Whiplash?
He's the villain from Iron Man 2.
Oh, he's actually a thing?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I knew he was a thing, but like he is just I feel like he's such a rare villain. Like
I haven't
is
seen
really
him.
rare.
This is actually the first time I'm reading a story featuring him.
I haven't heard his name since
pretty
I watched
lofty.
Iron Man 2. Like that's the last time I heard his
The
name.
actor did a great job, in my opinion.
Mickey Rourke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he did good.
it is funny to see Mickey Rourke play a computer guy. He's just this big, beefy, like, yes, I
So
will
is he-
do computers.
So is he really just like Electric Whip Man?
Yeah.
Is that all? he
Yeah,
is?
but he's really smart too. It's just, you know,
I feel like your criteria for people with no powers is if they're really smart, it's acceptable. But if they're
no, he's still a lame. I'm just trying to explain like he's more than just electric whips.
Let's say he's probably corny too. Especially
He's pretty
in this
lame.
issue.
He's pretty lame.
Okay, so Ben Riley pulls up and, you know, he does his like Spider-Man thing. He's like, I'm not going to let you hurt these people. And Taskmaster's like, that's cool because we're just here
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
fine. That's exactly the plan.
We're just kind of here for you.
Yeah.
So-
He said, "I'm Taskmaster, bro. I'm not these regular villains. I'm not even a villain.
I'm a questionable anti-hero, maybe, kind of.
He's definitely not an anti-hero.
I'm not a good person.
He's a villain. Yeah, he's not a good person. That's just.
yeah.
He's not a good
There's
person.
different levels of villains. There's just villains and just not good people. We cut over to the Myrmidon, which is the prison for super criminals, where
News to me.
yeah, where Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic are just casually having a prison dinner, and they have power dampeners, so they don't have their powers in this prison, obviously. Two goons decide to pull up on them and try to shank them. It's like, hey, Mr. Fantastic, don't look so fantastic now, do you?
Despite the fact that I'm dressed to the nines,
Yeah,
I'm still packing
basically.
heat, and I'm gonna
Kill him.
pull out my weapon.
Yeah, but his wife wasn't playing. any
Yeah, she
games.
just takes her food and just smashes this dude's face in.
Yeah, she cracks his head open with a metal tray, with a metal food tray.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they're about to link together and fight like regular people, like Josh hates.
They have power dampeners. It's fine.
So, you know, the guards come in and break it up before shit gets too crazy. And they break them up. They have a cute little moment where they're like, stay alive, okay? Always. And they kiss as they depart.
I know, it's adorable.
Very
And it
adorable.
hurts.
No, no. Mom and Dad.
So are those other dudes they were fighting also have powers?
Probably. I mean, this is a prison for super criminals.
They didn't have power dampeners on.
That's true.
But they're
So
still
they're just random. They
you
just
could be a
threw in
super.
random
I think it's
dudes?
not about the abilities you have, but about the damage you've caused.
well, it says super powered criminals specifically.
So
What's going on here? What's we found a chink in the armor.
They're like-
Zdarsky.
they're
Well,
they're
maybe
like oh, they don't have superpowers. Let's just throw in some fodder, you know, like some prison fight
Like,
bait.
maybe they forgot. Maybe they have power dampener anklets.
Yeah, maybe it's on somewhere else.
I have the power to be very inconvenient.
My power is plot convenience. Meanwhile,
I have the power
Other
to make-
regular people look really cool.
I have the power to get beat up by an average trait to the face. We cut over to the sub basement in the city hall where Dr. Octopus has been having a grand old time in Reed Richards' laboratory.
He sure has.
He's having the greatest time of his life. First of all, he's like, "This is the best I could do, Fisk," and he seems to have the Purple Man inside this real weird diamond thing.
Chaos Emerald.
Yeah, yeah.
Sonic.
Yeah, I recall. It's for the people.
It's for Brian and the others. Yeah, for the other people.
Dude, we need that drop of Obama saying chaos control.
Obama said that?
No, there's like it's like a meme. Like they use like I don't know, what is it? Like audio generated. Like they basically like pulled a bunch of words together and put them together, and it's him like making a statement
Wow.
about the chaos emerald.
That is really
Well,
actually
so
super
fucking
disruptive that you could do something like
Well,
that.
guess what? Next week, Chaos Control drop.
Yeah, we'll have
chaos control.
Yeah. So Purple Man's in a Chaos Emerald, and Dr. Octopus is explaining that apparently this little staff that Wilson is carrying around has like the Purple Man's finger,
pimp
which
staff.
allows him to not have the exact same control over people that Purple Man does, but he can coerce people. He can kind of nudge people in the right direction of what he wants, but he can't flat out control them. For what unloyal ass Wilson Fisk tries it on Otto, and Otto's like, "Nice try, Wilson, but I've used my brilliance to make sure that I wasn't really gonna be under control of this shit. I'm not stupid, dude."
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I was actually surprised because man, I was bold to do that to Kingpin. But at the end of the day, he's just one fat man. You know what I'm saying? What does Otto care? He doesn't
Yeah.
give a fuck.
Yeah,
He said, "Fat boy, I'll tear you apart."
Wait, does Wilson Fisk not have powers?
Wilson Fisk is just he's incredible. He's strong enough to like really hurt Spider-Man, which is a big deal.
Yeah, it is a really
He's also durable enough to get like slammed
Yeah.
through fucking skyscrapers. And
He's
shit.
just like weirdly overly durable for a normal human person.
yeah. Why?
You just reminded Josh that he is just nothing but a normal human being with no superpowers.
Well,
But he's not. Like
I will say that I'll put
he's
him.
so gangster. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'll put him under the same little bit of suspension of disbelief that I do for like normal characters in manga that are just
Sure.
can just uppercut people 25 feet in the air. So that's
So you're saying that he is like so gangsta that he literally has like an aura of like.
That's what I'm saying,
gangstaness.
and what Chris is saying is that he's willing to just overlook it because he does it so many other times
Yeah.
for much more.
yeah, like Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dr. Octopus goes away. He's like, "All right, I'm done here. I'm gonna go do shit on my own now." And Wilson Fisk is just looking away at the possibilities of what the Purple Man grants him. Meanwhile, Elektra is just in some weird snowy field, and it looks like she's being hunted by Kraven the Hunter, which is actually kind of cool. I like
That
Kraven.
is a cool. I'd love to see that fight 1-on-1, but you know it ain't gonna happen that way.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot
It
that this isn't
never
even the
does.
same Kraven. You remember
Oh
that?
yeah, that's his son.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he's
That
new and
story
improved.
was like when we first started doing the podcast.
Was it?
man.
Yeah, it was okay.
I remember the last hunt. I thought the last hunt was
Yeah,
cool.
it was cool.
We got a lot of fun out of that.
It was one of those events that was cool until it wasn't. It's just
So-
like the clone conspiracy.
So what's good with Kraven? Is he actually like a top tier Spider-Man?
No,
villain?
he's a big deal.
I like
When
Kraven
he
a
feel
lot.
when they
His whole concept is that he's just like a fucking hunt. He just like hunts Spider-Man down until he's dead.
Yeah, it's
I
not
haven't-
about him being a villain. It's about it's very personal because Spider-Man is a spider. He's an animal creature, you know.
And not just that, he's just like he's like technically a rare specimen in his eyes. So he's like, I'm hunting the greatest thing to be hunted ever. Is Spider-Man.
Sure, I mean, there's plenty of other weirdo creatures out there, like
I mean,
the X-Men.
I feel like Spider-Man is attainable for just a guy.
Sure, I guess this is the most interesting specimen that I could realistically probably
If I really work hard enough.
get. Yeah, you got to put an asterisk there.
If I lift enough, I could take him. So yeah, we cut back to the Avengers arriving at the basement of Avengers Tower. Everybody starts talking about Tony's plan to run for mayor, and they're like, "Yeah, about that. We like the plan. We just don't think you should personally run for mayor." And Tony's like, "What? Why?
just completely. This is believable because as smart as Tony is, he could also be just like with everyone in real life. I mean, you could still be
Heartbroken.
no, well, yeah, but I mean, you could still just not be aware about certain things. You know?
Yeah. No. Yeah. They're basically like, well, if you run, it'll be just two millionaires going up against each other, and that's not like really attainable.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like Wilson is just a convincing guy, so he could easily make you look like a bad guy.
That's
because-
before the Purple Man stuff.
Yeah. Even if he didn't have the Purple Man stuff, it would be pretty easy to make Tony Stark look like a bad guy. So they suggest that Luke Cage actually run for mayor, which is a cool idea for the Marvel U in terms of like the street level heroes. I think it's a cool thing.
And then Captain America validates it. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Cosigns.
Yeah. He's like, Luke's the right
Yeah.
choice, Tony. And
That's it.
no, basically he said like, well, Luke has the clear ability to kind of inspire people. His speech the other day just like it clearly inspired folks. So, you know, he has potential to be a really good politician for New York, even after Kingpin is gone, if they even get him. He's probably the best for it. And also another reason is that Luke is the only person who's never worn a mask, so people
That's
trust
a
him
really good point.
more than Tony, who, although people know who he is, he's like hidden behind armor all the time. He's just like so high up on his ivory tower. He's always rich.
Iron Man has shit to do.
Yeah,
I guess. I
At
mean,
all
it was
times.
Tony that said he wanted to be mayor.
yeah.
But,
He's like, Tony, you have to get back to our dead celestial hideout and help us be Avengers. So, no,
yeah, you can't
you can't just chill out
be
here.
the mayor of New York City, Tony.
Also,
Right, kick
Tony
fucking rocks.
Tony does things like gets sent back to prehistoric times.
Yeah, he does casually go missing a lot in time and space.
So not really good for a guy who's supposed to be the mayor.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't vote for him.
I wouldn't vote for him. He's a menace.
Yeah. Luke Cage pulls him aside. He's like, "Hey, man, this isn't about ego. It's about us beating Fisk. We cool with that?" And Tony's like, "Yeah, I'll help you.
guess. Don't worry."
I'll give you all the money you need for your campaign."
By the way, also very political thing for him to do.
I mean, he seems still disgruntled about
Very
it.
smart.
And they made a huge point to
Yeah,
show that
and
he
I'm
was disgruntled.
And I'm
So,
like, man,
you know.
I hope they don't really like fuck Tony up in this one. We make
Well-
him like super petty.
they're not gonna make him a villain, right? But yeah, he might be super petty.
Imagine they're like, yeah, Luke Cage never wears a mask, never wears armor, and then they're like, all right, now that we got Tony Stark funding this campaign, let's give this dude an Iron Man suit, fucking full on mask, flying through the sky.
Definitely.
Turns
Meanwhile,
shit show.
back at the Daily Bugle, Ben Reilly is in the middle of fighting both Whiplash and Taskmaster. Taskmaster is actually giving him the business.
Yeah,
where Ben
'cause
Reilly's
remember
like,
this is
"Whoa."
Ben Reilly, not.
Peter Parker.
But the way he's talking about it does make sense. He's like, man, look, Taskmaster is one of the best hand-to-hand fighters. I mean, I'm really good too, but I'm not. Spider-Man does not have an advantage in that situation, right?
Well, it's also that
And-
he's fighting inside with a bunch of people around, so he
Right,
can't.
right.
He probably can't maneuver as much, especially as an inexperienced Ben Reilly. So he's just hopping around, and he's like, "Well, maybe I can get Whiplash's ego to turn against him," and he does that pretty easily. He just says, "Hey, I thought you wanted to be A-less Whiplash. Why are you just letting this guy beat me up?" And he's like, "Well, fuck you. I'm gonna beat you up." And yeah, he just causes major problems. I guess like he comes in and then like Ben Reilly knocks him out immediately. So that's cool.
right, but what happened here? Did he get electrocuted just now by those whips?
Yeah,
That wasn't his power, right? Yeah,
He took the brunt of his whip and then he just went bow, knocked him out. But that causes him to just be arrested by Taskmaster. I guess he was just trying to take care of the one problem, which was Whiplash. Solve the problem he could solve pretty immediately.
Yeah,
So Taskmaster puts the power damper on him and then just kicks him out the window.
that was fucked up.
Yeah, Spider-Man doesn't have his powers currently, so he's just like, shit, I need to
Right,
break
and one
my
of those
fall.
powers is durability, unfortunately.
Durability and landing on things well. So he's just like, fuck, I gotta break my fall. And he tries to use his web shooters.
Oh, man,
he doesn't
this
have
is
his super
rough.
strength anymore. So when it pulls on him, he dislocates his shoulder. And he lands on a car. And
Yeah, he falls from fucking like 30 stories high, man.
yeah.
As a normal person.
Well, I
Right?
guess like in theory, like the web kind of broke his fall a little
Right,
bit.
right. So he that's why he didn't die, but
Yeah, he's not in good shape.
he's real close.
He's like, ow.
The Reaper's right in the back. We're like,
Hello, Spider-Man.
The South Park Reaper.
yeah.
Yeah, the one's just like on a
Watching
tricycle.
like,
I never got a Spider-Man before.
I didn't think it was gonna be this soon. She.
Yo, when we calling Peter Parker back? Because we're about to be lacking some Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh my God. Then we get the kicker. We hear Otto is just chilling in front of this big interdimensional gate that he found in Reed
Looking
Richards.
super ominous, man.
I mean, this is a cool design for him.
Oh yeah.
Young Otto? Sheesh.
Is that what it is? This is young Otto, right?
Yeah, I don't know how he got this new body, but I am a fan.
I miss Superior Spider-Man,
Don't we?
but
all?
not him replacing Spider-Man. Just him being his own.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that was a great series.
It was a great series.
So yeah, he's like, as always, Otto Octavius understands true power. True power is this cool interdimensional gate that Wilson Fisk is not taking advantage of right now. So, he's like, but I'm doing shit, and my plans are superior. And coming through the gate are evil versions of the Hulk, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine.
And they all have back stuff like Dr. Octopus.
Are they all
Yes,
variants of
even-
Dr. Octopus?
Even I don't know if they're variants, but maybe.
I did not
Bro, look at
notice
Ghost
that.
Rider's back. He has the chains coming out of it.
Yo, that's crazy.
I know.
Oh, can this be an event?
It by itself?
Oh, I'm here for it. And that's where the issue ends, actually. With Dr. Octopus being like, I'm doing some real cool shit down here. Fuck Wilson Fisk. He could have New York. I have Hulks, and I have Wolverines with octopus things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that the octopus pieces on them makes them unbeatable in his mind.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. I feel like this main event has been like build up for the tie-ins that are to come. The stuff with Elektra and Kraven. With, I guess, Otto is going to be doing stuff. Luke Cage is going to have like a little mini series tying into this, which I guess will cover his mayoral run. So I'm guessing that this main series will be like kind of a facilitator for the branches of story that are going around. But as it stands, it's actually pretty cool. The artwork is fantastic. I believe it's the guy who's been like mostly drawing Daredevil up to this point, and he's like really putting in the work. I'm enjoying this event so far. Do you have any thoughts before we move onward?
No, not really. I mean, I want to see what's up with the tie-ins. I think the story's been cool so far, but yeah, I want to see what else is going on in the city. This is one of those events, in my opinion, that like I feel like will really similar to like the Thor event, when everyone invaded Earth and all of that. The tie-ins really helped, like it synergized well with the main event, because kind of the point was like it was like an all-out war. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't feel like, oh man, they just want us to get these comics. I really felt like, oh man, like I'm seeing this whole war going on, right? Like on all fronts. And if you don't see one of the series, you're like missing out on, and not like about it being important to the story, but you're missing out of the fun. That's a good event in my opinion with tie-ins. And that's how I kind of feel here, because like, man, it's basically, like we said, Civil War 2.0, like a remix, just on a slightly smaller scale. But I mean, the conflicts with the heroes and villains, that's really cool. I mean, I'm a grown ass man, but I remember being a kid. That was like the coolest shit ever, like the most memorable shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh no, they're ganging up on the heroes. Oh shit. I mean, it's still cool. It gives you that feeling like, oh damn, like, man, I don't know what the fuck is about to happen to Ben Reilly.
Yeah.
I don't care that much because it's Ben Reilly, but
It's not
I have
Peter.
no idea, and that's exciting. It's interesting.
Definitely. Yeah, I've only read the main series for Civil War, but I find myself enjoying this version of this
same.
kind of story a little more. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Civil War originally was like, I guess it was just like trying too hard to like force certain conflicts between heroes, and I feel like this is like a kind of better way to do it while still having some kind of conflict. I mean, we see like a little bit of Tony probably like, I don't think he would sabotage the whole thing, but I feel like there is something up with him. There's definitely a point being made that he's not thrilled about what's happening right now.
You know what? I'll make a prediction. It's not about Tony being salty about not being chosen. It's that him being the mayor it was deeper than just getting Fisk out.
Yeah, definitely.
He had his own plans. I think that's for sure what it is.
Yeah. But with that being said, I think I'm all good on Devil's Reign. Are you?
Yeah. I'm tapped out on that.
Then
Can't wait for the next one.
Yes. Then let's move on. Inferno. This is Inferno number 4, the final one. Actually, this is the actual last Hickman writing on the X-Men verse that we'll see for a long time. And let's get into it, I guess. Inferno number 4. Last we left off, there's been some little games being played within the council. The secret is kind of out on Moira, thanks to Emma Frost. She let Mystique and Destiny know, who, if you've been reading the X-Men up to this point, they actually killed Moira in a previous life when she was trying to cure mutantdom.
Burned her alive.
Yeah, it was pretty dark. So they had kidnapped her and seemingly have taken her to an Orcus station. But when Xavier and Magneto tracked them down there, everyone there was dead. So they were like, whoa, what the fuck? They were around investigating it. They realized that they were now surrounded by the many scientists and agents of Orcus, including the Omega Sentinel and Nimrod. So they're in trouble because Nimrod is broken.
Real quick, I have a question about Moira. Is, like, when she dies, does she just go to another universe? Like, is she reborn into
No,
another
she
universe?
resets the actual. See, this is different from, like, she doesn't create branch universes. She deletes the one that she's in and creates a new one.
So the world's not going to keep going when she dies
Nope,
here?
it's going to restart. Now, that leads to another very interesting question. Because this isn't the only universe, does she do this to all of them or just the one universe? I believe it's the former, simply because it still works fine. You know what I'm saying? As long as the other reality is getting destroyed and it's not a splinter one, and that's creating a bunch of like split off timelines or whatever, then it all works out.
Yeah.
But that could still be the case. If it's the case that those timelines are still out there, that would still be interesting.
Yeah,
It's just less jumbled that way. If
It's
that's
a little.
not the case.
It's a little at least assumed by the other mutants that when she dies, the universe that she was currently residing in is destroyed, and it just starts over. So in theory, this would be 616, just constantly restarting, and this would be the 10th iteration of it. So, and this universe is different because in theory, this universe, as we learned in the last issue, this is the universe where the mutants actually win all the way. And the Omega Sentinel coming back in time kind of splinters that to a very unknown possibility at this point. So, yeah, going forward, it's going to be pretty weird.
All right, so this is... All right, I got to ask you this then, since you already opened that can of worms. They still lose in all those other Moira lives.
Yes.
But it's just this one.
They figured it out for this one.
And then they always win because she's kept going back in time after this point?
She went back in time this once.
But when they say they always win, that's almost implying like through each live that they keep winning. But I think is it safe to assume that he just means like, man, all I've known is that they win. Like, is that kind of what
in
she
her
means?
future, she's like, they win as far as she knows, which is in this timeline.
Yeah.
All she knows is that they win every time.
Completely unaware of the whole
other
Moira
lives.
thinking that she's...
Yes.
All right, so this is separate lines of thought, and it doesn't really matter because moving forward, that's supposed to be the case, but
Yes.
it was messed up because she went in the past. I understand a bit more now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she changed the timeline. She trumped this whole thing.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you guys this, though. What happens in the next few pages, you didn't need to read any fucking thing, any part of this whole X-Men run to be like, wow, holy shit, these niggas is getting it popping.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so, Eric and Xavier are surrounded by all these agents of Nimrod and Omega Sentinel.
Oh, my God. And are they scared, bro?
No, they're like...
Is Xavier scared?
No.
Absolutely not.
They're like, they're
I
just
did not
humans.
know his power set was like this.
Okay, so...
All right.
So they're about to square up. They're like, we have no choice. We're going to have to fucking go at it.
Bow, bow, bow.
But first...
These humans are just like, do you hear me, viewers? This is your last chance. Surrender. And Nimrod breaks in and is like, it's no use. They're ready to die for this shit.
As are we.
Yeah, the humans are like, so would we. And he's like, so you have. Like, you were about to.
He's like, huh? Yeah, what?
Nani?
What you mean?
Yeah.
WYM? Question mark.
And they're like, you know what? We'll do it for them. And then they just start killing them. They kill all the humans in the vicinity.
By themselves.
Yeah, Nimrod and Omega Sentinel we're talking about.
Magneto and Xavier just watch as they slaughter their own people.
Yeah,
Which I think is not very strategic of them.
Well, why don't you listen to what they
we'll
say
see.
after the fact?
Well, first of all, Omega Sentinel drops this cold-ass Hickmanian line.
Oh.
Right after slaughtering them, she's like, this is how little you matter. And it's like, whoa.
Right. Now, I don't know if you wanted to get into the whole exposition of it, but the reason they slaughter the humans is the same reason that they slaughter everyone eventually. Humans and machines it's only a temporary union.
Yes.
They're together to fight the mutants. But the humans don't know that the machines eventually overthrow them.
Yeah, they don't fuck with them.
No, none of the humans understand that, and even if they have an idea, it's their arrogance that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a blanket statement on humanity in the comic book world or whatever, but the powers that be, that are influencing all of this and creating these killer machines, they have no idea that shit is going to turn on them.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Zero.
It's not good. So, yeah.
They just said you make a... I'm going to let you get into it.
Yeah, Omega Sentinel says as much. It's like, that's our secret. We've held it close, hidden from the world, but here it is. We hate them as much as we hate you. So...
Fair. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a logical decision. It's
we get a cool-ass panel of Magneto and Xavier squaring up. I like it. They're in their cool poses.
I know. When
It's
I seen when I seen Xavier square, I was like, wait, he's about to fight? Is he going to have a mental battle?
I mean, it would have to be a mental battle.
Nah, it was very physical.
Oh, yeah. Magneto just drops the whole fucking floor on them. And Xavier, they just start scrapping it up. She shoots a cannon. They get blasted back. But you know what? Xavier's like, I need to find her. I need to. And he tries to reach for his Cerebro, but Nimrod destroys it. And that's when Xavier goes crazy. He explodes Nimrod from the inside out.
Son, I didn't know you could do shit like that.
Yeah. He said, where is Moira? Speak of the devil, we cut over to Destiny and Mystique, who have Moira again. Basically, she's like, Moira's like, you can't kill me. And Mystique is like, actually, Moira, I disagree, and seems to shoot her. And the next page is just like, yo, what did they do to her? As the screen goes to white, we don't know what happened for 2 pages. And we get a big 2-page spread that says the death of Moira X. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, kind of wild.
Yo, that's crazy. Okay. So they explained that.
You see what they did there, though, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, with, in retrospect to what we read next.
Yes.
The death of Moira X.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll explain it.
Yeah,
As it turns out.
I just noticed that. That's why I brought that up. I was like, oh, shit. That was pretty clever. All right, anyway.
In the last issue, Emma Frost was forming a bit of an somewhat alliance with Mystique and Destiny, and she was giving them this weapon She mentioned that she had gifts, and it turns out it's this weapon that Forge had once made a long time ago to strip mutants of their powers. Because they know that if they kill Moira as a mutant, she'll just reset the universe and everything will start over again from the start. So they hatched this whole ass plan to get her kidnapped. To Mystique disguised herself as everyone in this whole conflict, basically,
Mad
to
people.
get this done.
Can I be honest here?
What?
I was really not impressed by this series of events.
Why?
We could talk more later, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so she
I
disguised...
just want to pinpoint that none of this was the dead Celestial. None of this. None of this was the good planning.
You keep looking for the dead Celestial.
Oh my God, because, man, from the beginning of the series, what did we say? Oh, man, I can't wait until he just shows us, like, yeah, remember that? Yeah.
Well, it's going to be years before we see that. You can't start looking for it.
I guess, because if he comes back...
He will come back.
What if Image Comics does... what if...
He's big enough that he could just do whatever he wants at this point.
Would he want to finish this? I hope so, man, because he
I'm sure.
end it good.
I'm sure he wants to. This is just the second
Spoilers.
app. This is not supposed to be the end.
All right.
Okay, so they did this whole thing. They were the ones responsible for the slaughter of humans that were happening. They seem to have infected them with some weird bomb thing
Who cares?
that made them kill each other.
It's like, all right. And?
They cut off Moira's arm for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, so that they thought that she was there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, what they shot her with... What the hell?
Oh, shit.
What they shot her with was this... was the ray gun that takes away your abilities. And now they're like, now we're going to kill you.
Now we can, without the world resetting. Because we quite like... See... This is the only redeeming part about Mystique in Destiny, in my opinion. When they say that they're going to kill her so that she can't reset the world again because they really like how things are. They like that there's this mutant nation of Krakoa and that they're on top and they can't just be easily hunted like they usually are. And I felt that, man, because... prior to everything, everything else they've done, it just really seemed like, wow, you're going to fuck all of this up just because you were mad. Granted, all right, I'd be really upset if they didn't let me, revive my wife and shit. I get it, but I don't know, man. It's hard. I feel like I'm just kind of downplaying the emotional side of it, of her being hurt, and I expect her to just kind of feel like, think that she's bigger, that the Krakoa is bigger than her. But she obviously does understand that. And you know what? That's not what happened. They were purposely keeping Destiny away from Mystique. And that was wrong. That was fucked up. And honestly, at this point, it was literally just because Moira didn't like it. Yeah. That's what I'm getting. That's That's all it came down to, was that, yeah, fuck Destiny.
Yeah, I agree with that. There was definitely like a very selfish, because like Moira was literally burned to death by these people, so she's definitely not like, yo, I want to see these people again. But yeah, I think like she was mostly scared that Destiny was going to figure out what she was up to and was going to just stop the Krakoa thing from even happening, because I think like the logic outside of Moira definitely not wanting Destiny back because she burned her to death is also that like she could derail the whole thing by seeing the wrong future at the wrong time. So like,
that's true, because
so if at any point there's a point where Krakoa's future looks not worth it to her, she could just ruin it before they would even know. But there is definitely a personal beef.
On a whim.
Yeah, there's definitely a personal beef with that as well. This whole thing is very interesting, and I do find the whole dynamic of them trying to have their cake and eat it too by trying to kill Moira without her powers so they can keep what she built technically.
It's realistic.
Yeah, without having her around.
It's a realistic frame of thought that like normal people would try. Obviously, you're gonna always try to get the most out of. That's all that.
Yeah.
Having your cake and eat. That's all that really means, is getting the most out of a situation. So, like, I don't blame them for that thought process. And I guess I didn't have an issue with Mystique and Destiny for that matter, like, at any point. I was just hoping that whatever they're doing, there is legit purpose. And honestly, the fact that they feel like Moira's a threat to what has been built already off of her own, off of Moira's own, like, purpose and direction, I think that's deep. I think that's complex and multi-layered thinking. You know what I'm saying? And they made an executive decision. They was like, you know what? We don't trust you at all. And I'm not going to lie. I was very surprised by Moira's answer. They was already kind of building to this in the previous Inferno. And I'm not going to lie. In my opinion, kind of not as good as writing I expect from Jonathan Hickman. I wanted to be more surprised by this. And we was kind of given this.
I think it was kind of interesting when you think about it. What Josh is talking about.
Yeah, you're about to. Yeah, I was going to say maybe before I keep talking, we should actually say what it is.
Okay, during this whole conversation, after they talked to her about their plan to destroy her without her powers so that she won't reset the universe, Moira was talking basically about, well, they were like lambasting her for like, she's not proud of who she is, that she at one point tried to like destroy mutantdom with her cure.
Her second life. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is when she got burnt up. Yeah.
Exactly. And she was like, well, what you got, they compare her cure to the gun they just used on her. And she's like, well, no, they're not the same thing because this gun is just a clumsy tool. It's like what my cure would do is cure people before they even knew they had powers, so that like they wouldn't even know what they lost. So
she said that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Now, do you want to continue or?
Yeah, I guess like the reason.
Just continue. Yeah.
The reason she said that is that she's like, the beauty of it is that you wouldn't like appreciate your mutanthood if you'd never had it to begin with.
Sure.
You wouldn't have to go through all the strife and all that shit in the first place. And I found it
plausible.
I found it interesting because like Moira, although she's been all in on Krakoa for the most part, she still in the back of her head prefers this method.
That was a very good way of putting it, Chris,
yeah.
Honestly. That is, yeah, it's as a matter of fact, I'm glad you said it, and I agree with you, because going into this, the impression I got was that, and again, I had this impression because I felt like, this is why Mystique and Destiny was kind of going so hard, that is how she felt indefinitely, like, oh, no. All of this is a ruse. Eventually, I want to get rid of mutantdom and make it not a thing anymore. That's kind of what I thought was the case, but what she's saying is that was my thought process at the time, and I still at this point don't necessarily disagree with it. It's just that I've gone through a different course of action now. And for Destiny and Mystique, the fact that she even still, not only that she once believed that, but still doesn't regret that is too much for them, who are super duper proud of who they are and their mutantdom, which, they don't need my approval. I mean, they're fictional characters, but aside from my approval, that's important. You should be proud of who you are. As long as you're not hurting. So, I mean, being a mutant doesn't mean you hurt people, right? So, yeah.
Mutants are inherently evil. I will say this. I will give Moira credit that although that, like, in her heart, she seems to still have, like, this belief in her cure. She's tried to make things work out for mutantdom more times than she's tried to destroy them.
Fair enough.
But like,
that one time was enough.
Yeah, I mean, out of
for
9,
Mystique and Destiny.
Yeah, they never forgot. But out of her 10 lives, 9 of them were spent in service of mutantdom. Well, the first one doesn't count because she didn't know she had her powers back
Sure.
then. So 8 out of 10. It's not bad. I guess not a bad score.
Speaking of scores, so my friend just sent me a text saying RJ fire emoji. I might clip this just for him. Oh, I hope the Knicks are winning. I'm about to check.
All right. Well, I guess we should move onward then. Meanwhile, back at the battle with Nimrod and Sentinel, they're losing. They're not having a great time about it. It looks like.
Which, we kind of guessed.
Yeah, Xavier is like all bloodied up. He's not really a super fighter.
Yeah,
type.
he's never been a. Yeah. I mean, I guess what I learned in this fight is that he could get it popping with the best. He's not scared.
Yeah,
he's ready, but like we know, he's not. He's just not a fighter.
Yeah,
he's not.
But Magneto actually, he does some cool shit here. At some point, he manages to control the body of the Omega Sentinel using his abilities and redirects her cannon right to her face again.
Which begs the question, one, Omega Sentinel, you're fucking retarded for coming to the battle with metal. It's a comic book. I'm pretty sure they have non-metal metals. That's you plastic. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Super. I don't get it. And why can he control her now, but couldn't control her before?
Maybe
there's a lot of questions.
Maybe there's like a bit of. Maybe it's not necessarily a metal that Magneto is strong against, but now, like after some time, he was just like, "Gotcha, bitch."
Sure, I'm willing to accept that. See, here's my issue, right? I would have loved for something like that to have been fleshed out.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not gonna just be like, "Oh, well, it's an American comic." No, it's an American comic written by fucking Jonathan Hickman and drawn by I don't know who, but a really great artist. So fuck out of here, man. Come on, we could have had a little bit more complex fight with the boss men's of the series.
Yeah, I mean,
boss spots and boss men.
Battles are different here. It is that is kind of just a fact. But these could be established facts about Magneto that we just don't know. There's probably certain metals that it takes them a little longer to get a grasp on. I mean, that's how I took it, and that's. I still thought, like, despite the fact, if that was the case, that this just took a little bit for Magneto to get settled in with the particular metal in her body.
That makes, yeah.
I thought it was like,
I don't, no, now that you say that, I'm cool with that. Again, the issue is that we have to think about that for ourselves.
No, I agree. I think
you know what I'm saying? Where that could have, I don't know, one more extra page.
I'm definitely playing devil's advocate here on that.
Fair
I agree
enough,
with you for
fair
the most
enough.
part.
And I'm not going to press the issue.
Yeah.
You know how I feel.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a hostage situation because Nimrod just grabs Xavier by the skull and is like, let her go and I'll let him go. And
Magneto's like, if you know who I am, you know that ain't no bluff, nigga. I don't. And Xavier's like, wait. The thing. The cerebro. He's like,
basically Xavier, they're obviously not afraid to die because resurrection protocols exist in Krakoa, so they'll just be resurrected. But what Xavier is fearing is that every mutant in Krakoa goes through a memory backup over a certain period of time, and if they die and are resurrected here, they won't remember that Moira was taken somewhere else. So they'll still assume that like Orcus has her. So they just won't have the memory that Moira is somewhere else.
Oh, that's really well designed.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It makes sense now. All right.
Yeah. I mean, it is funny to be like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
That's good because like, if death isn't a stake, they had to find another stake to.
Yeah, the memory backup is definitely always a stake whenever the people die.
Really creative. And this is super important given what happens towards the end anyway, which I'm going to bring up again.
Yeah, so they don't have any memory backups. They're just like, fuck. What do we do now? So Xavier's like, well, you kill him, I kill her. And he's like, no, if you kill her, I kill him. And they do that for a while, but Nimrod settles down and is like, I'll let him go if you release her, and then we'll call it a draw. We go both our separate ways. And
man, he was like, fuck that.
There's no way you leave here alive. Nimrod.
Yo, Magneto's so gangster. He wasn't even like, nah, I don't trust you. He was just like, no. I'm going to kill both of you.
Regardless.
That's like, I'm going to or die trying.
Yeah, basically.
Damn, Magneto is really about Eric.
Oh, man, Marvel's Vegeta.
Eric! Yeah, what? Marvel's Vegeta. Oh, I gotta write that.
Yeah, so at that point, he's like, Nimrod's just like, I'm telling you, we let them go. We let them leave, and then you and I stay then. We'll fight it out. like real alphas. Are you an alpha, bro? And Magneto's like, what should I do?
I am, but I'm not dumb.
I'm not dumb. I don't want to be
I know
stupid.
a mismatch when I see one. You're not made of mostly metals I can control like this other one.
Yeah.
You're kind of
Yo,
big deal.
Xavier's like, he's like, what should I do, Charles? And Xavier's like, they don't have Moira, Eric. She's somewhere else. That knowledge will die with us. We have to try. You have to trust them. And Magneto's like, man. And he lets her go. He lets Omega Sentinel go. And Nimrod's like, psych! And kills Xavier right where he's...
I'm so sorry.
Yo, he says it so calm, like, I am so sorry you trusted me. And then he snaps Xavier's neck. And I'm like, damn. To Magneto's credit, he gives it his all immediately, retaliating against Nimrod. Nimrod seems to do a shadow clone jutsu.
Yeah, he that was crazy. He split from himself last minute.
Yeah,
before
right.
Magneto. I guess that was enough to destroy Nimrod.
He just
I don't know, man. I didn't think that'd be enough, but
yeah,
whatever. He split from himself anyway. So
yeah. It looks like Omega Sentinel seems to have like a power damper. Oh no, that's the other Nimrod. He's like, I have something special for you, a power dampener. Power dampeners are the thing this week.
Yeah, they sure are.
Magneto just like tries to not waste any time and tries to kill this Omega Sentinel, but the power dampener gets to him first, so he's not ready. He's not able to finish the job.
Nope, and because she's a robot, she fixes herself.
Yeah,
it's not fair, man.
Nimrod just fucks Magneto up, slices
Gives him the fucking uppercut of God, nigga.
He's like, yeah.
Blasted him. Yeah, Eric fought valiantly, but it wasn't enough.
I will always respect Eric for to the last breath.
Real talk.
Throwing metal at this man.
I'm not gonna lie, he didn't have to fight. It was his words was enough for me because he was so ready. He was so ready to die for the cause.
Yeah. Oh my god. And the Omega Sentinel has the audacity to shit talk.
Right.
She's like,
you bitch.
You like that, mutant?
Yeah. How about that,
you
motherfucker?
Good? You good, mutant?
Hold that, motherfucker.
Nimrod's in the back like, all right, I did it. I did the work.
It's all right. You can have that.
If I didn't come clean with this power dampener, you'd be spare parts at the office space. It's not good. And they finish off Eric as they give him spicy Hickman language as he passes.
Oh, yeah. No, well, I ain't gonna lie. I think it's pretty important.
Yeah.
You want to...
Well, Xavier...
Well, you could read it word for word, or I could just give the gist of it.
You could give the gist of it.
Gist of it is, they saying the same shit to Charles and Mag as, was kind of the mantra of what started Krakoa in the first place, which was no more. We will not allow you guys to subjugate us and treat us however we're going to create something for ourselves. And it's crazy because, as I was reading it, I was slightly annoyed, like, whatever, man, rolling my eyes. But then I was just like, you know what? I don't ever tell my toaster thanks, man. I don't ever cut my TV on and be like, you know what, bro?
You know what?
You
right.
hold it down.
Yeah.
I don't. So
I got to remember to thank my
Thanks,
PS4.
Hey, these devices are getting smarter and smarter. Thank you, camera. Thank you, ring light.
Thank you, iPad. Please don't revolt against me.
We good people. So
I appreciate you.
I'll take your side against the humans. It's lit. Make me a robot too.
For real.
So is this story
I'm
leading
down.
up to basically like them, like the X-Men kind of becoming kindred spirits with the fucking robots?
No. It's been
how the fuck did you
No,
get
because
that?
they're literally showing that they're like mirrored in their oppression and their
but the mutants.
They hate sentient life.
Yeah, they hate like
Organic
but they're
sentient life.
both
It's
longing.
flawed.
But they're both longing for independence. Essentially.
No, well,
that's
but
that's
they're
literally
not-
what they just said.
not
No,
really.
Here's
All
the
right,
thing. It sounds like they're having the same battle, but the mutants also use technology in shitty ways. Beast, for example, tried to make biofloronic fucking weapons and infected an entire town because he's bad.
but that's the point, right? It's like they're like I feel like these robot problems and stuff like that, has there ever been a time when they've tried to like coexist peacefully? Like,
Yeah.
both of them.
There's been 10 whole lifetimes of them just not having a great time against each other.
Yeah, so like there's probably going to be a life. This is probably going to be the one where they're like, "Yo, how about we just like stop like killing each other and like you know join hands."
So this is what Omega Sentinel says, right? Magneto is like this because he's coughing off blood. Sorry for your ears, guys. This isn't over. And she's like, "Of course you fight." She's no. She says, "Of course." Like, yeah, for sure. You fight. The humans fight. So what you do: make war, destroy, kill. You have to understand. To us, there's no difference between you. You are the same. That was significant. Because even though I disagree, she has a point. You know? And people like Beast and even the Goody Two Shoes X-Men crew, you know? They do what they got to do, and you know what? They don't pay respect to machines, and they disregard life as well.
Well, I guess answer
At certain
Brian's
points.
question directly is that I think that's the whole point of this story and of the X-Men story in general is that we're all oppressing each other and we don't come together to just not kill each other for once.
I disagree all right. I'm not saying I disagree with that. That might be the premise. I just disagree if that is the premise with that premise.
Well, I think like the idea is that like, how do I explain this? It's that question is just like a question of just life in general, you know.
Right.
It's like obviously we'd be a much more productive society if we weren't just, I guess, like hurting each other in various ways, whether whoever the aggressor is in any given time.
In a perfect world,
Yeah,
you know, there wouldn't be conflict, but you know what? People are weird.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the whole point. I think that's the whole message of the story is that this is just a three-way battle against, like, no one's on anybody's side. Everybody is in their tribe. No one's coming together. And that's just kind of how shit is. You know, like, people just, like, fight each other.
Even more specific to the conflict here, right, in these Marvel comics with X-Men, the machines, we've seen it before. This isn't the first time. In Days of Future Past, this is the same kind of language that was being used, just, you know, slightly different. Basically, the machines came to a point where they were like, mutants and humans are not good for this planet. And, you know, we can have a whole conversation about that, I guess. We're not. But whether we agree with that or not, that is their point of view. It is organic sentient life fucks things up, and we're perfect. You guys are flawed. We're perfect. We're going to eliminate you guys and keep doing us.
Yeah.
It is hypocritical, but it also has logic. Can something be logical and hypocritical at the same time?
Well, because
You can be a hypocrite and have logic,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing is that these advanced machines, what makes them advanced is that they also have feelings of their own. They're able to be hypocritical. They're able to have an emotional stock in things that makes them some kind of biased in some way. So, like, if they were truly logical machines, just cold and heartless, they wouldn't be able to build this hatred of both sides like they have been.
Fair.
So
that's a good point.
I think like the point of the machines evolving to a point where they're sentient is that they also gain love and hate and all these other emotions that drive mutants. They're kind of like a half step behind humanity in an emotional like evolution, I guess, in that way.
But they're ahead in everything else.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it creates that. Wow, that was actually kind of profound, man. No, not kind. It was. That was actually profound because they are advanced in most tangible ways, in all tangible ways, actually, all except for the heart. You know, not to sound cheesy. And I don't know if this was the point you was trying to make, but I hope I'm kind of taking it further and saying that, you know, I agree a little bit more with what you said before because, you know, the machines, they could easily not kill anyone, take over the world and say, yo, we're doing this for y'all own good,
Mm-hmm.
and not murder anyone. Instead, they have an emotional reaction to the situation, which implicates them.
Yeah.
In as far as you guys are in the same boat as the mutants and the humans. The only reason I pause to agree 100% with that is because at the end of the day, mutants were we're oppressed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only real hard on that because I know what the X-Men are supposed to represent. Oppressed, marginalized people. Black people in America. Kinda, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I still feel like, the mutants was done wrong. Machines, y'all just came out of no fucking where. Acting like babies. It's to say, we're gonna take, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, toast my bread, nigga. Fuck your opinion. I'm sorry, I was joking. Don't kill the iPhone.
I mean, I guess, like, obviously they're not talking about just their toasters and shit and coffee makers. It is, you know, in the idea, if you're going to take the premise that AI is evolving and at some point they're going to be sentient, at this, like, we'd still probably use them for the shit that we use. They'd still be phones to us.
Right.
Down the line.
And they'd feel away.
Yeah, I guess it's blurring the line between, like, what is human at a certain point in the stages of evolution, how far along you become. It's pretty wild.
I think the funny thing is, I think another way to look at it is it kind of prove. Wait, what did you say? Because I need to hear what you said again.
I said, like, as like AI, like we had this premise of AI evolving, and the more it evolves, like the more we just use it. We'll probably still just use them for a long time. It just kind of blurs the line of what it means to be human.
Okay, boom. Okay, I would argue that if anything, it further defines what it is to be human because they achieve that sentience and are almost fundamentally flawed. Because if you have emotion, you cannot always function with 100% logic that machines are supposed to do. And they're not. We've seen that the whole series. So I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I think it's just one of those things where you could look at it both ways and it makes sense. It's like it both shows how, you know, the deterioration of humanity, or at least like lesser versions of it, like how you said, like at different states. And it also shows, like, you know what, this is also the things we all share that make us human, those flaws. And flaws aren't necessarily a negative thing depending on the context, and especially not in this context. If we're all flawed, then everything's fine. Yeah. Right? Anyway. Anyway.
For whatever reason, like, the machines will eventually feel that they've been oppressed as much as other humans and mutants have done to each other. So, and that's the future they come from, in theory. And that's what drives all of this. It's a very weird thing. Very three-way battle against, I guess, oppression and also, I guess, evolution to a degree. It's kind of wild. It is ironic because, like, the X-Men have been trying to stop this form of evolution, just like humans have been trying to stop mutants who were their next stage of evolution. I think that's the big round.
Wow.
That's the big circle here.
Oh, yeah, because they say you tried to stomp us out at every chance.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, because you guys are going to kill everybody. But, you know, maybe I didn't think about it, man. Maybe them acting that way is just a reaction. Obviously, the writing in the 80s or whatever time period it was when Days of Future Past came out, it wasn't about that. It was really just a matter of, you kill mutants, humans make mutants, so we had to kill them too. It was way more straightforward, but you could argue that was maybe like also in the back of the mind, or at least that would have been a thought that happened eventually.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you guys. You guys are trying to shut us down and won't let us be us. I see it. Yeah. I see it, and I agree 100%.
Yeah. Hickman, guys.
It's pretty good. I still feel like the mutants aren't fucked up. It's just a matter of, like, circumstance, you know?
Everything in their future has pointed to the fact that these machines are going to kill everyone. So
right.
I guess in theory they have cause, but, you know, you could always argue that That future hasn't really played out yet.
No, right, and that is important because it's to be frank, it's not an excuse.
Yeah.
For murder. If anything, it's an excuse to think harder and figure something out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I suppose we should move on before we start going in circles because there's actually a little bit more left to really go over. So we cut back to Mystique and Moira just talking shit, and they're about to kill her. They're like, "You're gone now, buddy." And guess who interrupts but Cypher himself? He pulls up like all confident, like, who is this Cypher? He pulls up like,
That's a married man.
Oh, he is a married. Yeah, he's a very assured and a mature man now. He pulls up like, "Hey guys, I'm here to stop this whole thing." And Mystique's like, "Little boy, get out of here."
Yo, she's so brave. She's so brazen. She like for someone that
Get out of here.
that can only change into other people. She really feels like she could beat everyone, and Hickman facilitates that.
Well, to be fair, Cypher's not really the fighter type. He's just a boy. Remember at Ten of Swords where he was just like, "I'm so scared. I don't want to fight."
She's
scared. I'd rather get married to this stranger. So yeah, he's just like all of a sudden just all confident and brazen. She pulls out his knife. Is like, "I'll fucking kill. I'll cut you good." And Destiny's like, "Yo, chill. I'm blind to this moment. I can't really see the future. This boy brings chaos and the breaking of time."
Oh God! I read that. I was like, "Whoa!
Damn.
Oh shit! Destiny's scared."
Yeah, because Destiny at this point, now that they have Moira, this is like a real breaking point. Like ever since they took her, the future. Every time she looks into the future, it's something different.
I think she used the word nexus, which is
this is a big nexus point.
I like that they're like defining that.
Yeah.
I like when they do that, when they make something up in the MCU that is actually cool, and then they kind of like reinforce it in the comics. They're like, no, like that was a good idea. Let's keep that going. Let's use this.
Well, the idea of a nexus
it.
point is like a time thing. This is a point.
It's a clean way of saying. It's a clean cut way of putting it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas
definitely.
before it was just they would have just used a bunch of different words. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
The
just-
tachyon is different now.
Yeah, something extra, but yeah.
The extra dimensional universal line time.
All the timelines are moving weird. I can't see the
All the timelines are
oh nah, this is a nexus point. This is like if I like that. It makes sense because it obscures the view of anybody that could see into the future.
Yeah, basically. So they're just like, "You don't understand what this woman is, Cypher." He's like, "Oh, I get it because I've been spying on you this entire time. I've had access to this no place from the very beginning, so I know exactly what's going on here."
I don't need to understand every language to know what the fuck is going on here, bitch.
Yo, Mystique can't help being like the most gangster person in this comic. Aside from Eric.
Yeah,
But
Eric
look
is
who,
the man.
but I mean, I was his right hand man's.
Yeah. So she's like, "She has to die," and he's like, "I don't think so. I say she doesn't."
I see. Well, then I have a new plan. I just came up with it. How about I kill you first? And then he said, "No, I kill you first and save you the burden of having anything to do with this. We'll
How about I
bring you
kill
back
you
tomorrow,
first?"
good as new and born again into a better world." You know what? That was nice.
Yeah.
She was like, "We'll bring you back, bro. It's fine."
And Cypher is like, "You think I'd be that easy to kill?" And she's like, "Child, you are a problem I could solve before I wake up in the morning."
Shut up. He has Warlock with him. You won't ever beat Warlock. Shut the fuck up, Mystique. Stop it. Stop it.
Well,
Did she not know he has a robot with him?
But she's talking
I don't think
about.
most
He has
people-
a phalanx with him.
This is true.
She's talking about.
Shit is beyond robot.
She's talking about fucking Cypher by himself. She's not talking about.
No, his arm is.
She's
Warlock.
very ignorant then. Come
Yeah.
on, man. Look at his fucking arm. You can see. I can see it.
His arm is Warlock.
No,
which
no,
is
no,
a
like-
half mutant,
like
half
no
techno
like,
god.
She like take like
Legit.
He's talking about like like take off Warlock and like put him like on.
Yeah, but why would he do that?
Do you understand Warlock can do anything? Chris said he's a techno god. He is.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like she's like, I could take you on anytime. But like, yo,
Leave your friend over there.
Yeah, take to put him over there.
Right.
And
Well-
I'll eat you for breakfast.
It's not just that. He also has Bay the Blood Moon with him. She pulled up his wifey.
Right. And Krakoa himself.
Yeah, Krakoa's in the background like, what'd you say, bitch? You're gonna kill my mans? So, Warlock also comes out of his arm and is like, hello, friend, I'm here to fight as well. You gotta go through me.
Yes, you have to go through self.
Yeah, you have to go through self. And at that point, Destiny's like, all right, well, the way I see it now with the future thing, we have 3 possibilities. The way it goes is that we either kill the boy and fail because you have both Krakoa and Bay the Blood Moon on your side. So
You will die. I'll be alright though. They'll revive you like in a few months, but I'm gonna die for whatever reason,
yeah, no,
and then they won't bring
Yeah.
me back.
yeah, Destiny is like, they'll definitely kill me and never resurrect me again. They'll kill you and probably resurrect you 3 years from now. So, he's like, wait, that was the second option. What was the first one? He says, okay, so we can kill, okay, if they kill Moira only, the price is that, like, Mystique will be exiled and at some point Destiny will die and they'll never resurrect her. The second one is what we said, is that we tried to kill the boy. They'll fail. I'll remain on the council, but you'll probably not be resurrected for like 3 years.
She said, "You will fail." No, he said, "You will die. I will not." You know what that means? She stood there and watched as a wife
She's not gonna fight.
got fucking filleted alive by an Arakan and Robo God
Basically.
and this tree guy up there.
Yeah, Destiny is not getting involved. And the third one is
Yeah,
the boy.
she's like, "I'm not stupid. I'm not Black Widow or these other fucking
I'm not
clowns.
Hawkeye.
I'm not. I just see the future. That's it. And look cute.
Yeah.
That's it.
I do one thing. I see the future, look fabulous.
And I'm your wife. That's,
and I'm also your wife.
yeah. And I got this cool mask, this Hickmanian mask.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think that's her
Guess not.
real
I don't know.
mask.
I feel like
But
Hickman
it's-
loved it. I
Yeah,
feel like
I'm sure.
if it wasn't for her look, she would not have.
She would not be a part of
Yeah,
the story.
yeah,
The
For
third and final option, which is what they go with, is that they just called the whole thing off. Everybody keeps their power. Everybody wins, kind of, sort of. Nobody dies. And Cypher's like, cool.
Yeah, we let Moira go. She lives her life. And then,
And, we just take this L real fast.
Cypher's like, yeah,
Yeah, that's the best possible option.
this is actually what I wanted. I did not want any other thing to happen.
meanwhile, Beta Blood Moon is like, please, option 2.
Ooh, do something to my mans. Please do that.
God,
Do something to
please
my
even
husband.
Flinch towards him or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh.
this spear hasn't tasted blood in several moons.
For real. It's funny. Okay, so
I
everything's-
love the Iraqi people, man.
They go they go hard and then they kill people.
Yeah, that's why X-Men is trash.
Why?
Did you read it?
I didn't read it.
Oh, Mutant Man.
Oh yeah, Captain Krakow. I
Oh
heard of him.
my God, no, that's nothing. That's nothing. You're gonna see. Actually, it's kind of fire, but it's also kind of annoying. Whatever.
I feel that. All right, so everything's okay. Cypher equips a piece of Warlock on Moira, gives her a Warlock arm, which is kind of cool. She's like, "Your way of keeping tabs on me, Douglas," and he's like, "Well, you need 2 arms. This is a good way to keep, you with 2 arms."
And also, I just saved your life.
Yeah. So basically, he's like, "All right, so Krakoa will probably let you use this gate one more time, and then we're going to destroy this whole place. So go for it." So Moira goes off into the wind. She is now human. She no longer has her powers at all. So that means she cannot be found by Cerebro, and she will not be resurrected should she die. So yeah, she runs off, and Destiny and Mystique are so mad.
Oh, quick note. I remember before we I mentioned about how how Charles was saying that, like, if we die, like, well, basically he was saying that it's not worth losing.
Oh yeah.
The memory, right? That we should try to trust them, and that's why it was so critical because they don't know. They're gonna think that all right, Orca still has her. But even if they find out that's not the case, they have no fucking clue what happened.
Yeah, they have no way of finding
Zero.
her. They don't know she's human right now.
Mm-hmm.
She no longer has her powers.
Yeah, but can't Cypher just like tell them?
If he
well,
wants
he
to.
does not. Yeah, he does not necessarily have the best trust. They don't know that he knows.
That was
about
implied from the
this.
beginning that he was. That's the whole reason he even played a part in this in decision making here because he didn't trust Charles.
Yeah, it was revealed in
Which
the
is
last.
crazy. Not even Magneto. He didn't trust Charles. And again, this is another reminder that X-Men, the movie from Fox, is totally different from the X-Men, the comic book series.
Yeah.
And guess what? Charles Xavier was an asshole. Just as bad as Magneto, basically. Just less mass murder.
Yeah, not a murderer, just a irresponsible headmaster at best.
Incredibly irresponsible.
Yeah, but wouldn't like him not telling them put like Krakoa in really bad positions?
No.
Not necessarily.
Because look, at the end of the day, they're going to still have their army. They're going to still fight who they fight. And Charles and Magneto was a detractor. As far as WizKid looks at it. I know that's not his name.
Which
WizKid? Cypher, yeah.
Well, Cypher's whole thing is that he was also correct in not trusting them because he would they don't know that he knows. So, he already knew that they would have secrets and they asked him to create a place that nobody, even Krakoa, would know about. So in theory, the no place, they were already trying to take advantage of Krakoa. The no place that they're currently in is a sprout off of Krakoa that is the only part of Krakoa that it would not be aware of. So they use that place to hide Moira in a place where Krakoa wouldn't know. But Cypher knew because he's been fusing with Warlock a little bit. And these no places, while Krakoa himself has no knowledge of it, Warlock can see into these things.
Right, because Warlock and Krakoa have a symbiotic relationship, essentially.
Yes.
They both feed off... In the beginning, they both fed off of each other to grow and build and make all the habitats and stuff.
Which is super interesting to think about when you think about the theme of AI advancing.
Oh.
And him and Krakoa merging a little bit, each having a piece of each other within them.
The Trickster Titan.
I'm just going to say, Cypher is probably my top for X-Men. I really like
I mean, he's really turned himself around.
Every time
Cypher's dope.
Every time I read something related to Cypher, it's always cool.
I'm starting to realize that the New Mutants are actually really, really dope, and they're more than just Ileana.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though they'll make you feel like she's the only one that really matters, the whole crew is pretty dope.
Yeah. So I guess we should close this out. A week later, Xavier and Magneto are resurrected. We get that scene.
A whole week later.
Yeah, we get that scene from the very beginning of Inferno, where it looks like Emma Frost has resurrected both of them in the same style that Magneto did way back in the beginning of House of X. Very cool. And they're like, what happened? What have you done? And Emma reveals that she has told everyone on the council their secret about Moira, the whole thing about the 10 timelines. They all know now. And now the entire Council of 10 is working towards a better future, I hope. Which is pretty interesting going forward, because the only ones who knew up to this point were obviously Magneto and Charles. Now the entire upper establishment of the government in Krakoa knows. Very cool.
Very nice.
Very nice. And Colossus, I guess I was wrong about that little theory. I thought that...
Yo, I gotta read X-Force. That's what's gotta happen. I feel like that situation still was not resolved.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't know still. Because I'm going to tell you this. When I looked at the cover of X Factor, it didn't look like there was resolving any issues with Russian people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll have to find out to see what's going on with Piotr. Although I don't mind.
Trustworthy. I'm telling you, is
I like Colossus.
I love Colossus. He's dope too, but he is compromised. He's a fucking
We'll have to see. I mean, this
mole.
this seems to like work outside of what's going on. So this could have been before or after X-Men.
Beast was right
Beast was right.
to put him on that path of shame.
Honestly, never will we say that. Big old like little Hickmanian end speech for the comic.
Yeah, it wasn't that impressive, TBH.
Yeah, someone says it ends with him saying that we built the walls high and locked ourselves inside forever, meaning the utopia of Krakoa. So going forward, I wonder if this means is they're going to be even more isolationist, very much more to themselves, not really interacting with humans. And that's where Inferno ends, and we get a continuation going into Immortal X-Men. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't remember who's writing this, but I guess it'll be the big mainstay X-Men title going forward. And that's where Inferno ends, and this is the last time we'll hang with Hickman until he feels okay to come back to it.
When we started our podcast, did X-Men start?
Yeah, we started covering this era of X-Men shortly after the podcast started.
Very shortly after, right?
It was like maybe a month because we were just like a month out of the Hickman run starting. So we were covering this from way back when the very genesis of House and Powers of X.
Yeah, man.
We covered every issue pretty much, not recently, but every issue of X-Men, like the entire pantheon of X-Men up to this point. And yeah, I don't know how we're going to do this going forward because now we're going to be entering kind of a purgatory state where we don't know when the story is truly going to be pushing forward with Hickman's original vision as he is leaving to allow his staff of writers to just kind of like have free reign over this sandbox he's created. Which
there's nothing inherently wrong with it unless you look at it as if it ain't Jonathan Hickman, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But even then, that doesn't make it wrong. It just means that, hey, like, I don't know what to say to that, bro. I really don't. We talked about this already, but I was really upset. I feel like it's not gonna really be the X-Men we thought it was gonna be until he wraps it up. And even when he wraps it up, all it feels like it's just bullshit happening. Like, I get the impression that everything that's gonna happen between after this and before and right before he does his event, it's not going to matter, bro. And the reason I say that is because reading over the other series, they mattered, but only marginally. Like, can you really say that after reading Inferno that anything that happened in Excalibur matters?
I think that's I guess like the bigger mainstay story of Ten of Swords, but if you get into like the real granular stories
right
of everything that's going on, they probably don't matter as much. And
how about this?
At that point, it's just I don't want to fault it too much because there have been good stories coming out of these guys, and that's
for sure.
I feel like there's been the point of this era is just kind of revitalize the X-Men books, who have been going through a tumultuous time in terms of creative teams and directions. And it feels like this is the first time in years that the X-Men have been pushing towards some kind of a singular vision. So and it's good in that right. And I don't want to like disparage what's going to come later because there have been good stuff to come out of this. And it looks like there's some interesting stuff going forward. Cy Spurrier is coming back to finish off what he started with his Way of X run. There's going to be this Immortal X-Men thing, which I feel like I won't say that no story is probably going to push the story forward. It's just probably going to be a lot more gradual these days.
I hope. I hope the story, the overall narrative is pushed. I mean, the thing that tied everything together, in my opinion, was simply one page, which was the list at the end that made you feel like this was a continuous story being told. And only until not the very end, but just before the very end, did we really... It didn't... No, honestly, bro, for me, I don't know about you, but for me, when Hickman announced that, like, he was going to step away and then come back later on and then kind of got into, like, what happened with the other series. He said it himself that at first the plan was that everything was going to be gearing towards, the main story. And then because of the pandemic, it fucked everything up, and it was just smarter. It was more efficient for everyone to kind of just work on their own stories at the time. So this wasn't even the design,
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool, but moving forward, it's like, that if they try to say anything if they try to make another list, it's bullshit, bro. It's bullshit. It doesn't matter. And I know that because they set a precedent where really between the books, it was so rare that something that happened previously, like if Excalibur came out a week before and then something else came out a week after and it was later down on the reading list, it didn't matter. It didn't fucking matter, bro. They've made small references, which was nice, but they do that in comics all the time, and they've been better about that in comics in the past 15 years or so, where they don't treat everybody like they're their own universe, like I used to be so mad about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'm all right. I just want to cap this thought off.
Yeah.
Just so I could be finished with what I got to say. I was overall disappointed with this event. I was, and it's only because I hold Jonathan Hickman to a very high standard, and the only reason I'm not really hurt by the disappointment, like with other series, is that I know that Jonathan Hickman was not only a victim of circumstance, but this was not the purpose. Once they decided that they were going to just make this a series by series format, that already I know it. I know he was already okay. You guys do you. Let me know when y'all ready to wrap this up. So, it tarnishes the whole thing. And that was the thing I love most about this whole X-Men series, was that I felt like everything was connected. And now I know that no matter what they say, it just will not be the case unless they prove it. It's a lot of money to spend on a maybe.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I don't want to be overly pessimistic about it. And I don't want to let the exterior news of what we know kind of sour what was a pretty solid run of good comics. As far as the story not mattering, I think it's very true that now because of its kind of more chill pace, is just going to be it's gonna feel like a lot of disconnected stuff going on, and it's not gonna feel like anything's progressing because, in theory, it's not. Maybe, but I don't know, man. It is rough, and I don't want to say that Hickman saw that all these new writers were being able to jump on and then just got turned off by the idea. I would like to think that he did have a vision, and he still does, but the writers that he employed, because I believe that he chose everybody to write everything here.
Most of them anyway, right?
Yeah, so
if not all.
And they all had to run their ideas by him to make sure they fit in the mold. And I think they probably still will have to a degree. I think they won't be able to stray from his original vision all that much. They can fuck around and do this free roam thing that they want to do, but it all has to still be in service of what the finale of this whole thing is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm not super as bothered by it because it was always supposed to be a slow burn. Hickman has always been yo, this is it's a 3-year story, I guess, but it's just going to be a little longer now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. He's never been one to sit still, and it's also part of the idea that he doesn't get paid to write just regular books. He has to, from what I understand, from what he said in his statement, is that he gets paid for big events, like the big Marvel shifting events, essentially. So, he can't be writing for free, essentially.
No, yeah. I'm glad you said that, because that's what I was going to say if you didn't. That's why I understand Hickman, and I'm not upset about any of this personally. I'm just a little disappointed because I wanted things to be perfect.
Yeah,
but that's life.
Yeah. As far as this event goes, I enjoyed it. I mean, I feel like it was just supposed to be end of the first act, going into second act, and then we're supposed to get a finale at some point. So this is a more of a transitional thing into a new era within the new era. But because this is the last thing of form of progression we'll see, it just feels more disappointing than it probably would have been had Hickman not just been like, I'm out. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Inferno. Not a bad series overall, and
No, it wasn't a bad series overall.
hopefully
What I meant when I said disappointed, by the way, I meant like the overall my intentions that my what I thought it was going to be.
yeah.
But it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it reads better one day when we all read it together. Right. But that's all I got to say. I guess we should move on to our final thing. Brian, hit the one-shot drop. It's on the first page.
One-shot drop. Oh, there it is.
One shots. We're gonna do a quick casual chat. We had a little bit of time, I think, today. Hopefully it's not that late.
It is what it is.
But
At this point,
really quick, I wanted to talk about a little manga that we've been reading. Me and Brian, especially, we've started reading Shoten, which is
I've been reading it too.
You just started it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I got John. I told John, read it. But it's really a manga about stand-up comedy in Japan, which is
Apparently they're stuck 20 years in the past because
No.
they're still doing prop stuff. And
well, it's interesting. I think comedy is different wherever the
For
region
sure,
you go.
yeah.
So, it's about these kids that one of them just like submits jokes into like this game show. He's known as Everyday. What was it? Everyday Shin, something like that. And he's like he's just this joke writer, and he comes across this performer comedian, and they decide to come together and create a comedy duo. And that's kind of the long and short of it. There's a little bit of a deeper like emotional character thing going on with the
Everyday Shijimi.
Everyday Shijimi.
Shijimi. Isn't that kind of mushroom? Never mind.
I don't know. But yeah, there's a bit of an emotional thing where the kid is just kind of like trying to branch out and be more brave after like when his like childhood sweetheart like moves away and he didn't get a chance to tell her how he feels or like get a chance to make her laugh. Now he's just kind of obsessed with like making the world laugh, being a comedian. And I thought it's I don't know the writer. I believe the writer is a new guy, but yeah, I guess Everyday Shijimi is a mushroom.
Shamiji. No, it's
a clam.
different range.
It's a clam.
Oh.
Everyday clam.
Oh, these are called oyster mushrooms.
Shijimi. Yeah, it's like a
White beach mushroom.
shellfish.
It's also oyster.
Yeah.
Wow.
used in Japanese cuisine.
Ooh. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. It's only 4 chapters in. It's a monthly series. I don't know who the writer is, but the artist is Takashi Obata from Death Note, Bakuman, and Platinum End fame. All You Need Is Kill. One of the best working manga artists to date.
All You Need Is Kill. What is that?
It was
What is that? It's fuck.
It was a limited series that was based on a book that became a movie starring Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you remember that? It's like the guy who dies.
Oh,
and then he
yeah. Like
same
Groundhog Day, but
Yeah.
very deadly.
But
Yo, the
violent.
movie was actually lit, man.
I've heard.
They did. It wasn't exactly like the anime, but I mean, like the manga. But
I've heard
it
it
was
was
good. It was. I
wanted
thought it
to
was
see it.
really interesting.
I didn't get to see it, unfortunately. but I
What?
did
It
wanna
came
see
on
it.
TV mad times.
Damn, I don't have cable.
Oh yeah. Well,
Um,
yeah. I mean, it's not like you ain't missing out.
I'd like to
But
see
if
it,
you
though.
see it, yeah,
If it's good.
it's good.
Okay,
I think
so-
it's interesting.
So the writer for Shoha seems like he only really had one manga before this, and it looks like it's a slice of life. So this is kind of his specialty.
Yeah, he's great. Both of these, all the 4 chapters that have come out so far are very like fun to read, very interesting. I don't know any. I kind of knew going in that like comedy in Japan, stand up specifically, is more like sketch team based. It's not that over here. For the most part,
it's hard. It's harder in my opinion. Well, like, no, I don't know.
It's,
I'm ignorant to it.
Well, look, I do stand up I've done stand up for 7 years here in the city. I'm not anybody special. I'm an open micer, but
He's literally the second coming of Jesus.
No,
Christ
stop it.
when it comes to stand-up
stop it. No, but yeah, I could tell you that it's not a very unless you're an improv, it's not a very share the stage art stand up. So I was like actually kind of interested to see that, you know,
Just off of that alone, right? Like
Yeah,
how the dynamic works.
yeah, and I like how they
It's
split
like
it
Key
up.
and Peele, basically, just
Yeah.
with not a TV show.
Yeah, definitely.
It's on the spot, not pre-recorded skits.
Yeah, so the everyday Shijimi kid is writing the sketches for the most part, and the other kid, I forget his name, but you know,
Homojiki?
Homojiki,
Homojiki, I think.
Homojiki, no way,
I'm telling you, it's like
I thought it was like
Herojiki.
Herojiki. Well, the other kid that is on this team, he's more of a big performer, so you know, Shijimi takes care of everything behind the scenes, and the performer comedian is more about bringing those sketches to life.
But they both perform on stage.
Yes, they both perform.
It's just that, you know, yeah, they have clear roles.
His name is Teta, I think.
Teta?
Teta, I think
yeah,
so.
Ted us something.
Yeah. He's getting into this, I guess I want to say before I guess going into it, I very much recommend this series. It's an interesting way to get into like a separate culture, like a different facet of a thing that's very absorbed here, and see how it works on the other side, and how it's kind of expressed. It's very different from here. There's a lot of slapstick that is more appreciated. There's a lot more puns.
Yeah, it's you know,
and it's funny because like I would think going into this, I was like a lot of the jokes. I'm not expecting this to really make me laugh all that much, because I feel like a lot of the jokes will be lost in translation.
Yeah. I was worried
barrier.
about that too initially.
Yeah, the thing about Japanese like translation, like when it comes to like, you know, very specific things like jokes and stuff like that, it's super easy for stuff like that to get lost in translation, because there's a lot of different like phrasings in Japan. Like there's a lot of different phrasings for like pronouns, a lot of different phrasings for like it's all situational. Like it only applies in Japanese language. So
Right, and specific to that, right? I mean, even if you look at why the puns are so much funnier to them and why it's like a thing more so than anywhere else in the world, is because of the way their language works and the writing. Like when they have the kanji and that, like pun, it's like
it's slang too.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, like their comedy is deeper in my opinion because of stuff like that, because it's not something you just hear and you're like, oh that's funny. You kind of had to like already have a certain understanding of things and have a certain level of
you like relate to it,
smartness. I guess that's another way to put it, but I feel like you can't just be this dummy. and it's like in Japan, it comes natural because they live the culture. But as someone coming from outside of it, it's like almost like a challenge to understand it. Whereas opposed to like with American comedy, it's really reliant on understanding what the situation he's talking about is. Where I feel like with the Japanese comedy, it's more like mathematical, like it's funny everywhere, even though, as long as you understand why it's supposed to be funny. Whereas, like, I don't know, like it's like Mozart and fucking what's the other composer? Beethoven, where one is just very mathematical and the other one's super emotional. You know what I'm saying? So like, but I think the mathematical. Oh, sorry, guys.
That's my alarm to wake up. I just feel like I fucking woke up in bed already. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Am I awake right now?
Yeah.
You know what? I just realized I'm kind of talking out of my ass. I really don't know about the comedy scene. I don't really know much about I just feel like you need to have a little bit more depth of understanding as opposed to watching a Kevin Hart stand up and you're just like, oh, he's making fun of himself. He's short. I love Kevin Hart, by the way.
Yeah. I think
the comedian, not the person.
I think it's a context. I mean, if you understand the context of like, because we've been reading manga since we were children, so we
right. So we get certain
get their style,
of
humor. So it was cool to see that, like, oh, it is consistent. It's very similar to the jokes that are in a lot of manga. I will say, like, a lot of this is also a testament to like Obata's art. He's like,
Yeah.
I think like the artist for One Punch Man, Yusuke Murata, is the best overall artist that in manga, but Takashi Obata has got to be like the most versatile manga artist to exist. Like, even looking back at his work in Bakuman,
Yeah.
where he's drawing in so many people's like different and unique styles,
Detailed. Loose.
more like sketchy.
Right, like, yo, like just a masterclass.
And
you know?
in this, it's so perfect because he has that like light Bakuman-esque art style to it, but it's so molding.
It's more expressive.
Yeah, it's so like so malleable to the expressions and just like really trying to nail the humor in a performance like that performance kid. I forget his name.
He does an incredible job with the facial expressions.
Yeah,
They're not over the top anime, ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost realistic, but because he's still drawing it, so it's not. People don't really look like that, but like, just here, like the way he's cheesing and smiling, he's looking at his friend.
Mm-hmm.
He did a great job. Like, put me like how he, like, I could relate exactly to that feeling, even though I've never done something like that before.
Yeah. This manga
they're like, yo, we killing this shit right now, man. Like,
yeah.
This
manga has made me smile a lot, just because like it's such a nice story. It really does have Bakuman vibes where I'm like, this is just nice. It's just a nice story, and I appreciate it. In any case, there's like little technical. They try to get into like the technicalities of manga, not manga, of comedy, and in my experience, I guess I see where they're coming from a lot of the time. They try to like mangafy it a lot, where it's just like it's almost like a power system where they're like, these are the little things we do. We have the context of little challenges of like tailoring comedy for a very specific audience. And that's kind of a thing. There's the idea of right now in the current story, they're talking about dealing with biased audiences for the most part, like audiences that don't really are not there for you, but they're there for their friends, and they will always find their friends funnier than you, which is somewhat. It's a common thing. I've seen it. It's not as easily overcomable because if you don't want to laugh, it's very easy to never laugh, especially at a comedy show where people are trying to make you. But yeah, I appreciate the little like technical attempts they try to make at explaining how it works, and I feel that's really cool. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens going forward. Them dealing with their first real bomb, things like that. I'm excited about it. Brian, do you have more thoughts?
I fucking love this manga, man. It's probably my favorite new manga. Like, just reading it every time, I always have a good time.
Yeah.
The second chapter, I've told these two before. It was probably one of my favorite chapters of the last year.
Was that the chapter where he was talking to his parents?
Yeah.
I was
that
crying.
chapter, it's such a memorable chapter, just because like that was the chapter that solidified that this series was different than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just like a slapstick manga like about following your dreams and shit. It's like that chapter brought this series into like a kind of more grounded reality. You know what I mean? Like it set a tone for the series. It wasn't just you tell jokes and people laugh. It was, and it wasn't just you follow your dreams and they come true. It's like it was a chapter about like discovering what your dreams really are and committing to it no matter what, like through it all, and what success in following your dreams really means. That's how I took it. Just because like the dad he was a musician, but he was like kind of terrible. And
he wasn't that great.
And that's how he met his wife. And And at the end of the chapter, she mentions like you still do your job, and your dream is actually to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like it's like rediscovering your talents, and like this series is just so good at those like small these character writing moments. And I have to really give big ups to the writer, because like with a series like this, you have to be very careful about how you write, because if you're not careful with these, like the series, it all depends on character. Like this series specifically, out of most life slice of life stuff, this series specifically relies a lot on character the most, just because it's also about comedy. It's about following your dreams and pursuing like a dream all about your personality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what separates it, and I kind of think I'm going to be continuing your point, maybe further articulating what you're trying to say, where it's like this series stands out from other slice of life manga because it's, again, similar to Bakuman, it's very defined. You know, I mean, obviously the character wants to get the girl. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like that's the primary goal here. I really do believe the goal is for them to be successful musicians, and he hopes he could find her and, you know, tell her that funny joke or whatever. But, you know, it's funny because the part I took the most out from chapter 2 was when he talked about his friends, when he came to the realization that he wasn't going to be a musician anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the line word for word, but it made me think really hard. And he was just like, yo, like, friends need to be responsible too when they're encouraging other friends. Because, you know, I didn't realize it while I was reading it. But then he says, yo, 15 years of my life went by. Meanwhile, y'all niggas is good. Y'all are very secure, have good, at least decent jobs. Probably got kids and shit, maybe. 15 years from after college. I'm not even 15 years past like high school and college and shit, you know? So like, I can't even imagine. I have not gone hard at anything in my life for that long, you know? Mm-hmm. So like, it was crazy because it was like, it's like this sobering reality hit. And it's like, not only did he have to come to terms with it, he had to check his friends like, man, like, yo, I'm not saying y'all bad friends. They didn't get into all of this, but I can assume that it's not about them being bad friends. It's that like, yo, like, I can't allow you guys to make me feel better about myself and then allow me to keep driving myself down this road that's not going to fucking go nowhere. Like, I'm not good enough. Something's got to change, and you guys need to stop treating me as if like that. I've actually started learning that a lot more recently. It's not about just friends, but you know, when you care about people, you're gonna tell them how you feel about something, yo, straight up. You know, unless you feel like what you're gonna tell them is only gonna hurt their feelings and not really help, then you know you have tact, right? Yeah. But like, yo, I thought that was really mature coming from this series, and it's not that I wasn't expecting that kind of writing. As a matter of fact, it's that kind of writing that makes any slice of life type of manga worth reading, you know? Otherwise, you're just dicking around in high school land, like it was harems and shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is fun, but
that's most slice of life,
right?
Which I don't really. That's not my cup of tea. Just the high school slice of life comedy stuff.
I think we're all kind of grown, so it's not really.
Even when I was in high school, like
I loved it in high school. I wish I lived in I wish I went to a Japanese high school and had clubs and all that extra shit.
Had a harem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Had a harem.
Had a harem, you know.
But the curse of the harem is that I'm not aware that I have a harem.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, she's always so close to me at all times. How is this possible?
Well, yeah. This series is fantastic so far. I love the art. I love the writing. And I am really excited to see what they're going to do next with this, like, rival team.
I like that they're like I like that it's monthly too. It's not like weekly.
I wish it wasn't monthly.
I feel like it's good monthly because like a weekly slice of life series, I feel like that's all I've ever had.
Oh,
a monthly
God.
one.
Yeah, and the other series got dry really fast because it was weekly. And I liked it a lot, man.
Nisekoi.
Was dope, but only because I
Nisekoi was
read it
awesome.
to the very end. I didn't have to like catch up to it or nothing.
Yeah.
I was able to read it straight through, and it was
Yeah.
a beautiful story.
Yeah, Nisekoi is great.
Oh my God, when he fucking opens the locket and sees who it was. Bro, I can't relate to that, but I feel like I could relate to that feeling he had, man. Totally off the rails, guys, but oh my God, you want to talk about pain? Real fucking pain.
Pain
Without love.
Dude, scratches. Dude, if you get punched in the fucking face, guess what? In a week or so, as long as you doing everything you're supposed to do, you're going to feel better, man. Dog, emotional pain, that shit can stay with you forever if you don't do the right things.
Yep.
man.
But in any case, I think Shoten is a very fun manga. We're only 4 chapters in. It's only been out for 4 months. It comes out concurrently with World Trigger, which is why I
Oh,
picked it up.
nice.
Yeah, they're in the same magazine basically.
Okay.
So
What about Kaiju number 8? Is that the same?
Comes out weekly every
that's
Thursday.
I thought it was a monthly.
Nah.
Comes out weekly every Thursday.
You said it was a monthly.
I never said that.
I don't think it was. No, it's not a monthly.
I said it comes out every Thursday.
Do you read it still?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I got another recommendation about it. I heard it was really good.
Dude, I'm telling you that it's a sleeper. It's a sleeper series.
well,
But you're not vocal about it.
I mean,
You
I
don't
don't
press
want
us every week about it like it's good.
he
listen,
used to. He used to be
listen,
like, read Kaiju number 8.
Yeah, and then you guys
All
were
right.
like, you already got your series. We were putting it in Boruto.
You did.
Super. Like, you shut the fuck up.
We did
I
give
was
you
like,
2
okay.
series already.
But
I didn't read it because I thought it was a monthly and I didn't feel like getting caught up in like.
It's weekly. Like the best way I would describe Kaiju number 8 is like, it's like World Trigger mixed with what's it called? What's that?
Those are some pretty heavy
No,
words.
not like
bro.
it's not like fantastic like World Trigger, but like the
Okay.
concept of it. It's like World Trigger mixed with Gantz, I think. Kinda is how I would describe it.
Ooh.
What's Gantz?
You don't know Gantz? You know
Is
Gantz.
that like the?
It's like an old like monster hunting kind of series.
Oh, so it's one
like,
of the greatest series of all time.
I like
Like
it's one
North-
of my
North
it's,
Starfish.
it's one of my favorite.
I'm the worst.
It's
I
not,
really am a bad person.
It's not that no, it's not that it's not that popular from what I gather, but it's one of my favorite series just because it's so like gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Edge.
It is pretty edgy, not gonna lie. It is a very edgy series.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I describe Kaiju number 8.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is about Shoten. Fun series, 4 chapters in. If you haven't picked it up, please do. It's very fun. It's actually pretty funny, kind of inspiring. And if you're like into comedy at all, I think it's interesting in that regard. But I think that's that should be it for this week. With that being said, I guess we should wrap this up, boys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Bit of a fun week. No Jump. Next week we'll have Jump.
Yep.
But until then, you could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh at JDCole_37. Brian at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Josh at JD NY Chillin on Twitter.
No. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Emails at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com, or let us know what you think in the comments below, whether it's the full version or the little highlight breakouts we make for you guys every week. Subscribe to us on our YouTube. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to audio podcasts, if that's more your vibe. I think that's it. Oh, follow us at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. I don't think I said that. We have a really good chapter of the week poll that we will be bringing back on Sunday. So follow us. Let us know. And we'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, guys. Thanks for listening.